Hey guys, we're back with another video, and today we are watching Actually Happened. Yeah, we're watching that. Okay, let's get to the video.
Hi everybody! Would you like to hear something really unbelievable? I am only 12 years old. I have just entered my first year of middle school, but I have already seriously framed my teacher, my best friend, and even her mother. To tell you the truth, I have to admit that I did not mean to do it. It was just a coincidence. Everybody calls me Sam, but my mom calls me Samantha, and every time I hear this, I get chills down my spine. Brr. You know, my mother is very strict and very careful about numerous rules that have to be
How can she frame her teacher?
observed. Usually she invents all these rules by herself. For example, every Friday night, our big family absolutely has to get together and go to my mom's favorite restaurant. My mom calls it the Great Dinner, pronouncing it so strictly and meaningfully that you realize that there is no trace of even the slightest hope of abandoning or escaping it. So one Friday evening during another extremely boring and dull Great Dinner, I was sitting at the table at the restaurant, yawning and idly picking at some tasteless pasta with a fork. Mom was talking about something loudly, and I was just wishing that all of this would come to an end as soon as possible. It would have been just another ordinary and horrible family evening if I didn't notice Monica's mother sitting at one of the neighboring tables. Oh, I totally forgot to introduce you. Monica is my school friend I spoke about at the beginning. I would go to her house all the time, and I knew her mother pretty well. So I thought that I should go up to her and say hello. But my plans changed drastically when I looked at the man Monica's mother was having dinner with. It was Mr. Fitzpatrick. Can you imagine? Mr. Fitzpatrick!
Her teacher. Jesus. Her teacher.
Patrick! Oh, sorry, I forgot again that you don't know who that is. Mr. Fitzpatrick is my social science teacher. I do not like his class, and Mr. Fitzpatrick himself is not a person who I would like to talk to in the presence of my mother. So I tried to hide myself behind a napkin to make sure that they didn't notice me. I knew that Monica's mother was single, and I still remember a very ugly story that happened when Monica and I were still in elementary school. It was a time when Monica's parents were in the middle of their divorce proceedings. Ouch. Even now I don't want to think about that, but I will tell you anyway. When Monica's mom and dad filed for their divorce, they could not come to an agreement about where Monica would stay. They were literally trying to slice their daughter as if she were a piece of pie. There was some kind of murky story about the court hearing and the judge's decision regarding the custody of Monica, but I don't remember the details because at that time I was only a 9-year-old kid and did not understand much about, well, all those strange things that adults do. One day when we were at school, Monica's dad showed up in the middle of the school day and demanded that the teacher let Monica go with him. The teacher, of course, knew about the divorce procedure that Monica's parents were undergoing and knew that something sketchy was going on there. So she refused, but Monica's dad was very persistent. He made a huge scene in front of all the students and teachers. The teacher even wanted to call the police because some of the classes, including our class, had to be canceled thanks to Monica's dad. However, we kids were not too upset about this. Then Monica's mother came to school and the scene continued, but later they somehow managed to settle their problems. It seemed that Monica had finally firmly answered that she wanted to stay with her mother, and that she did not want her father to harass them any longer. After this, Monica's father was so angry with her that he still does not want to see her or even talk to her. And when my mother found out about this trauma, which totally left an impression at her calm and boring school, she was very strict. Regarding Monica's mother, Mom said that a decent woman would never allow this to happen, especially in public. My mother did not forbid me to stay friends with Monica, but she did not even want to talk to Monica's mother. When I would go over to Monica's house, and my mother would come to pick me up, she would always wait for me in the car outside. So I had multiple reasons to not draw my mom's attention to this couple. But I continued to watch them. Well, anyway, it was definitely much more exciting than listening to how my family talked about themselves. And it was only the beginning of the show there. In less than 5 minutes, Monica's mom and Mr. Fitzpatrick started kissing. Yes, you heard me right, kissing. I was terribly embarrassed. I didn't realize that these two were having a romantic dinner. But I was also so surprised, even more than I was not just an ordinary couple, but my teacher and my friend's mom. How could this happen? I watched this sweet couple a little more, and then it occurred to me that I needed to do something else. My mother was carefully watching all the attendees of her great dinner, and she would sooner or later notice that I was staring at them. She would definitely suspect something and go up to Mr. Fitzpatrick and his lady. I tried to get back to my pasta, but after this unpleasant scene I'd witnessed, it became even more disgusting. Yuck!
Oh my gosh, guys, have you tried this game? It's called the Helix Jump. So, it seems really easy.
A little time passed, but I still couldn't get the evening when I saw this hot performance starring my friend's mother and my teacher out of my head. Every time I saw Monica at school, I wanted to shake the truth out of her. Why didn't she tell me everything? Monica and I were not very close friends, but we've known each other since childhood. We went to elementary school together, and we still had some common classes in middle school, including Mr. Fitzpatrick's class. By the way, yes, lately we rarely hung out together, but tell me, was this a good reason to hide from me that her mother was dating our teacher? I don't think so. I was dying of curiosity, but I had no idea how I could start an honest conversation with Monica, and I literally could not come up with any decent idea. Monica became less talkative than she once was, and she became harder to deal with in general. And then I realized something. Monica did not want to talk to anyone because she was afraid to talk about her mom. But why? Well, of course this gossip would instantly spread around her. Why hide all of this so carefully? I grew more and more curious every day, and I started spying on Monica at school on a daily basis. And I finally noticed something strange. Not very long ago, we took a test in Mr. Fitzpatrick's class. An extremely difficult one. I was thinking and trying so hard that I literally gnawed on my pencil while I was filling out the test forms, but I still almost failed this test. And Monica got an A. We showed our grades to each other, so I knew that for sure. And it was very strange. You see, I remember well since elementary school that Monica was not the most diligent student. I was always a little smarter than she was. And even though I was not very good at social sciences, I was not so bad that I'd almost failed the test that Monica was passing brilliantly. So I made a mental note and decided that next time, I would ask Monica again what grade she got on her social sciences test. And the next time it was the same. Monica got another A from Mr. Fitzpatrick, while I barely pulled my C out. But you have no idea how much I went through while I was getting ready for this test. I completely abandoned my gaming console. I didn't go outside for a walk. I even almost didn't open YouTube. I was studying around the clock. But for some reason, Monica again received a much higher grade than I did. This could not be a coincidence. I did not directly ask Monica why Mr. Fitzpatrick always gave her an A, but I asked my friend about her other grades. Monica did not see what I was hiding behind this innocent question and honestly told me about all the grades she received over the semester. And you know what I heard? Monica did not have a single A apart from these ones. And moreover, she did not even earn a single B, only C's. And these standalone A's in Mr. Fitzpatrick's social sciences class. Of course, I could not help but be so annoyed. And then, something happened that I'm not proud of. My mother very carefully controls my progress at school and makes all my teachers report all my grades to her. Mr. Fitzpatrick with his social sciences was no exception, and my mother learned about 2 tests that I almost failed. Nothing good was waiting for me at home. My mother defiantly placed me in the center of the room and scolded me for a long time. But before she moved on to the punishments, I thoughtlessly screamed that it was not my fault, that I tried hard, but that this was a very complex subject, and there was only one student who received an A for the test, and it was Monica, and it was only because her mother was dating the teacher. My mother's face changed immediately, and she asked me, in a completely calm tone, everything I knew about what I had just revealed. The next day, my mother went to my school and demanded that the administration fire Mr. Fitzpatrick. My mother said that the teacher's relationship with one of the students' mothers was unethical and dangerous for everyone. Children, teachers, and the school's reputation. A couple days later, Monica, who of course knew nothing about my mom's visit to the school, talked to me for the first time in a long time and told me everything about her mom and Mr. Fitzpatrick. that he was very cool and that Monica was very attached to him and would like Mr. Fitzpatrick to become her father. That's why Monica studied his subject so diligently, to please Mr. Fitzpatrick and to support him. However, it was all in vain because Mr. Fitzpatrick valued his work and his role at the school, and he left Monica's mother in order to not lose his job at our school. Now, I don't know how to tell Monica everything, but I have to do it. I told this story here to make sure that I am ready to tell it. Please like it and support me because I didn't really mean for anything bad to happen. Hi, everybody!
Go ahead, y'all. This was a nice story, I ain't gonna lie. A like and subscribe, comment down below if you ever got an A+ on your test. Guess what? Peace. Oh my god, I can't eat. Bye bye.